Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're going to continue on with making our rainbow boho tumbler. So this is what we've done so far. I made the tumbler on on here on YouTube, and I've also added the vinyl in the first video. So if you guys haven't seen that video, go check it out. You'll see how I do this process. The next step we're going to do is our lid. So I'm going to start off with showing you guys some of the supplies you'll need for your lid, and then I'll flip the camera around and we'll get started. So make sure that you guys are subscribed to my channel. Leave a comment below with what tutorials you guys want to see next. I'm going to do a sealing tutorial because those always go crazy on my TikTok page. So make sure that you guys follow me over there as well. But I'm just trying to grow my following over here, not knowing the future of that platform. So stay tuned. We'll bling and seal this next, and then I'm going to be posting a video here in the next day or two of an alcohol ink, how I do my alcohol ink snow globes. So any means, let's get started. So you're going to want to start out with a lid. So I'm going to use this one for this cup. I thought the color was perfect. I get my cups from Callie B's Creations. I do have a affiliate link with her. The code all caps BC Sparkle will save you 10% every time you shop with her. And I order my tumblers. I just get a variety of lids when I order them. She also sells the lids separately, so you could just order color lids. But I typically, if I'm ordering my double wall tumblers, I'll get mostly color lids, because the Starbucks ones I get, they all come clear. So I get most of my clear lids from my Starbucks cups, and then from Callie B's I just order. I love this color. I like the mint color. I like the lavender. She's got all different types of colors, so I use them all. And then I'm also going to be using some of the glitter I have left over. I always save my glitter mix a little bit for the bottom of the cup and the lid for the cup in a separate jar. So I'm going to be using my glitter mix. I'm going to be using my UV hard type resin from Resin Wreckers. I also have a link for them in my link tree. You get to save if you purchase with them for the first time. And then for my UV lamp, I also like their new Magic Cure lamp. I've used several of the cheap nail lamps on Amazon. These are my new favorite, is this lamp. Ever since I switched to this, my curing times have been a lot faster, and my cure is a lot better than I was getting with the nail lamps from Amazon. So I highly recommend to spend the extra money. Go with this bad boy. It's super cool. I have it charging right now because it's been dead. I've been using it so much. But it is chargeable, so you can detach it and use this. This runs off a pretty good charge. Typically, I think it's like 4 hours that you get from it. And it has different wattage settings based off of which type of resin you're using. And then it also has a 60, 90, and 120-second option for cure. So highly recommend that product. I love it. I use their resin and the lamp. Perfect combo. But and then I'm also going to use a sanding block here. I have my resin tools. Everyone always asks me where I get these little silicone brushes from. I have them in my Amazon storefront. They're makeup brushes, but I use them for my resin art. Love the silicone. You can wipe them or you can cure them and peel off the UV resin once it's cured. And then I use a wax pencil. I've tried all the fancy pencils. I do love this one from Callie B's. I do like using this because it has the wax tip and the poker. So this is a nice option, but I've tried 1,001 of the fancy pens like that for picking up rhinestones. It's great for picking up pearls, which you guys know me. I'm known for my lids and my pearls. I prefer this guy. Cheap guy. Amazon storefront as well. Buy a bunch of them. They're like 99 cents to $1 or $1.99, something like that for this. Amazing. Love it. And then on the side here, I've already picked out all my stuff, but I'm using my flat back pearls and my rhinestones that I've picked for this cup. These colors were a little hard to match with what I have, but I was able to find some that I think will work well. So we're going to keep it pretty basic on the lid. I'm not going to add any rainbows because I couldn't really find the right color rainbows for this. So we're just going to do a bunch of daisies because I do have daisies on the cup as well. So we're going to stick with a floral theme and keep it a little simple. I like a simple lid. Personally, this is my new favorite cup. I've been working on these. I had a couple orders, but I have these on my website that you can just purchase like this. But this is totally my style and nothing too fancy or complicated. So I'm a fan of the simple lid. Sorry, but let's get started with our tutorial. For those that are new to me, I am Jess. I own BC Sparkle. I do Snowglobe tumblers like you see me working on here. I've also done badge reels, key rings, phone cases, pop sockets, just for a few examples. I do a lot of UV resin art, cute little phone cases, and then keychains. And then I'm a full-time nurse. This is my full-time job, and this is like my side hustle hobby, badge reels. So I keep my badge reels on check here. And you can order from my website. It's bcsparkle.com. I have a link in my comment or my video description for my link tree, which has my website and my affiliate links as well. So check them out. I have lots of affiliate links for you guys. I also, like I said, have lots of options listed on my website. If you would like to order a tumbler from me, most people order a custom. I do have some that are like this one I have listed on my website. This beauty will be up for grabs, so keep your eye out for that one. If you want to purchase, you could order a custom and just put rainbow boho. I have more vinyl, so I can do more of those as well. But most people order a custom from me. That's where I'm at. I also do alcohol ink tumblers. So this has the alcohol ink on the outside, Snowglobe on the inside. I do these as well. So, and I'll be doing a tutorial on how I epoxy and alcohol ink those cups. So make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. But what people know me for most are my tumbler lids. So that's kind of how I grew my following on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, is through my tumblers. There's so many Snowglobe tumbler makers, so you have to find that one niche that like kind of sticks you out from the rest of other makers. And for me, it was my lids. I'll show you guys some examples. But I had not seen anybody do this type of lid until I kind of came up with it. I kind of fused my keychains and my badge reels into my cups and just made them into the lid. So here's a couple. This one is a cute little cup I did for my daughter's birthday coming up. It's gonna be her present. So my lids are what people know me for best. Just my little special touch. And then this one, how cute is this? This is one of my personal cups as well. It's one of my favorites. I'm in Georgia, so Georgia peach it is. So we have to have a peach cup. Cute little lid. And then this one is another cup for my daughter. She has all the cups. This one, and then here's a cute little lid. So we're gonna work on one of these lids. But we will get started. So the first thing that sorry, it's cold in my room tonight. The first thing that you want to do is you want to start out with sanding your lid. I like to sand these lids. They give me a nice bond for my resin, so that it doesn't lift and peel. So I'm just going to take my little sanding block. I start out with sanding the top here. And then I do the edging around most of my lids, unless you request otherwise. I go ahead and sand it so that I just knock it all out. All right, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some alcohol and paper towel. I keep my little rubbing alcohol just over the counter that you find in your local Walmart, grocery store, wherever it may be. I just use that. So I'm going to spray this down, get it nice and saturated, and then just take your paper towel and just wipe off all that extra dust and stuff that builds up. So that is ready to go. I'm gonna hold on to this because UV resin gets messy, so I'll probably need this at some point to, itching. I'll probably need that at some point to wipe off my brushes and whatnot. But at this point, I'm gonna flip you guys around so that I can show you face down view of what I'm gonna do next. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I'm gonna take my UV resin here, like I showed you guys, and I'm gonna fill this up, and I use about 5 mLs per lid. I hadn't actually measured this out until recently. Someone had asked me how much UV resin I use because she was struggling with her ratios, and I was like, I don't really know. Now I do. It's right around 5. I just eyeball it most of the time, though, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna stop there. That is 5. And then I'm gonna take my glitter that I saved here for the bottom and the lid, and I'm just gonna sprinkle this in. I really love the glitters from Callie B's Creations. That's where I get most of my glitters from. If she's out of stock or something, or sometimes she may not have a specific color I'm looking for, I use It's Pretty Personal or Freedom Glitter, but Callie B's is my favorite. I just love her quality and quantity. For what you pay, you definitely get your money's worth. And then having that discount code also helps a lot too. So love her glitter, and Christina is super duper sweet, so I love her too. She is awesome. It makes it easy to support such a small business when they're great people. All right, so we're just gonna mix this in nice. You'll notice it's a little cloudy. That's because it's got bubbles in it. If you've worked with UV resin or epoxy, you know that agitating it will cause it to bubble up a good bit. So no worries, we will fix that here in a few seconds. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just dump this out on my lid, and I try to go around. It makes it easier when I'm ready to spread. People always ask me how I prevent my resin in a glitter from flowing over on the lid, and I honestly have not had any issues with it. I think it's just because I've done this for so long. I've been making my lids like this for about a year now. I'm used to my ratios, and I know how much is enough and how much is too much before I let it get to that point. But in the beginning, it probably is a bit of a struggle for you guys to get your ratios right. But once you kind of learn how much is enough, you'll get it down and it won't be an issue for you. But I saw recently where someone just kind of stuck a little plug in the straw hole. I was like, oh, that's genius. So try that. As far as the edging goes, I would just kind of let it overflow and then wipe it down before you cure it, just to make sure you don't cure it that way. I will say I have had a couple of times where I didn't realize like a piece of glitter or a piece of resin got into that straw hole, and you do want to be careful with that because it does make it hard to get the straw in and out of. There's not much room to give there, so if that happens, just use like a deburring tool, and that will help to get that UV resin out. I use a weaving hook, honestly, and I'm usually able to get it out that way. You can also heat it up. Sometimes if it's cured and then you reheat it, you should be able to peel it right off. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking my silicone brush. These are in my Amazon storefront. You can find them there, and I'm just working my UV resin around. I will say once I get towards the edges and the center here, I'm just really careful with how I proceed, because I'm also going to hit this with my torch, and I know that's going to make it spread as well. And then I'm just going to go back around and kind of push some glitter to spots that may not have glitter, so it's nice and even. That looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to wipe this tool. Where's my paper towel? I've already lost my paper towel. It's all right. Story of my life. So I'm just going to take a little baby wipe. Just wipe that down there. And then I'm going to take my torch and hit this to pop all these bubbles. Try to get my lighting a little bit better for you guys. This matte on this table does not help the color that it is. It's a pretty color, but it's not great for camera. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to take my charms. I always go in next with whatever charms I'm using. So for these, we're just doing flowers. On my other lids, I use some characters and bigger pieces. What I like to do is lay out my lids before I lay them down into the resin, just because once you lay them in the resin, they get goopy and yucky. So I always have a layout before I do the final, like I am here. This one, we're just going to do basic, just a circle of flowers here, and I'm just gonna kind of move things until I like them. It's perfect. And then I'm going to start coming in with my rhinestones and pearls and just filling in this dead space around. And you can just fill it how you like it. I kind of like to cluster everything myself. A lot of people ask me what size pearls and rhinestones I use. Pearls, I just buy the mixes. I get most of them from Cali Bees or Blingy Thingy on Etsy. And I just buy the mixes. Up to 10 millimeters is the largest pearl that I use. And I believe 3 millimeters is the smallest. So the mixes works best for me. I do purchase the ones I use on the side of my lid separate, just because it's easier to do that way since they're all one size. And I don't have to like pick through. I used to pick through and pull out a specific size for those. And I got tired of doing that, so I just started ordering them separate. And Cali Bees has really nice pearl options. You can purchase them in different sizes in one pack, and they're all separated out. So I highly recommend hers because they're already separated out for you. You don't have to do that. And for rhinestones, I prefer the glass rhinestones right now. Those are my favorite kind of rhinestones. I've used the jelly and the resin rhinestones, but glass, there's just something about the glass ones that you can't replace, or quality-wise, like you can't match. So I prefer those over the resin and the jelly, but you will see me, these are the AB resin rhinestones in white, and I do like these. I get most of my rhinestones from Lexi Gems. I have an affiliate link with her in my link tree as well. She has some really great, unique options. Cali Bees has some really good ones as well. Cali Bees is like my one-stop shop for a lot of my supplies. You'll hear me say her over and over, and it's because I shop with her so much. So I'm just filling in. I just kind of eyeball it. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. It's all personal preference and what you like. So I like a little more cluttered effect. So I'm just going in and filling it until I feel like it's the right look. For rhinestones, I'm using white, opal white, opal pink, and I'm using this really pretty mix from Luxie Gems that's like a light pink glass, and the white AB rhinestones as well. And then for pearls, I'm using, it's like a peachy pink, a peach, and white. So drop in the comments too, guys. If you're new, say hello. I want to know who followed me over from TT, and then who's new here on YouTube. I'm just curious as to where, or if you follow me from Insta or Facebook. I'm just curious as to where you guys found me and how you found me. I've been on TikTok for about a year now. That was my primary platform when I first started doing these cups. But with all the controversy going on right now, I decided to branch out. I had a lot of people requesting that I come on here and start a channel. But working full time and having little ones, it seemed unfeasible until I tried it, and I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. So I've been trying to post for you guys longer tutorials, as well as, you know, you're limited on other platforms to so many minutes. So that's why I like this platform, because I can make longer tutorials and explain things a little bit more in depth than I have been able to in the past. So if there's a tutorial that you guys want to see longer than what you've seen on my other pages, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to work on filming one for you guys. I just need to know what you guys like to see the most. I get good feedback when I seal tumblers. Those always do really well for me, as well as making tumblers, like doing the glitter into the cup part. My bling videos don't tend to get as many views, but just let me know what you guys like to see the most so that I can start working on a list of things to film for you all. I get questions a lot when I'm trying to think of like questions I get when I'm live a lot. And one of the most common ones is if I can do X theme and X theme and X theme. Just people throwing out different themes that they want to see. I can pretty much do any theme that you would like, as long as it's not controversial or any issues. You can always message me on IG, or I have an email linked, or contact me on my website where you can find me as well if you have questions about a custom. Most of the work that I do is custom, just because I don't have a lot of free time to do ready to ships or just for fun cups. unless I'm slow on custom orders, then I have a little bit more time. But right now, time is of the essence. It's hard to come by these days with working full time and having little ones, so I do my best. All right, so I'm loving the way that this looks. As you saw, I kind of went with my torch. I hit over the rest of the bubbles. Once you lay everything down, it's going to bubble up just like it did in the beginning. You want to use your torch to pop those bubbles before you cure. If you cure with bubbles in your resin, it's going to give it a cloudy appearance and it looks dirty. So definitely want to use a torch or a heating element of some sort to heat your UV resin so that when you, before you cure it, you can get all of those micro bubbles out. So I am now going to use my magic cure lamp. I'm going to place my lid inside here, right under the lamp. And then what I'm going to do is set my lamp to 36 watts. That is the recommended wattage for the hard type UV resin. And then for my lids, I cure them for 120 seconds. So we're gonna do that. It's on and popping in here. So we're gonna let that cure and then I will show you guys how it looks once it's done. All right, my friends, so we are done with curing this lamp, this lid on the top. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the sides of the lid. So I do mine a little bit different. I do recommend if you're new to resin, I would start with glue with these instead of using UV resin, just because it is going to be easier for you guys in the beginning until you get your technique down. Once you get your technique down and can move a little bit quicker, then I would say move into UV resin. But until then, I would start with glue. It's just a little more forgiving and secure than the UV resin. And you'll see what I mean once I start laying down my pearls. And I get people that message me all the time saying how much harder it is than they actually thought. So save yourself the stress and headache if it makes you nervous. So I have my pearls here. I picked out the colors I'm going to do around the edging. You can do pearls, you can do rhinestones. For this one, I'm just going to do pearls. And I'm going to take my UV resin and I'm going to start out with just a little smidge here just to get me going. Now, if you're using glue, I recommend liquid fusion. And you still want to work in little patches, just like I'm working now, just to give the glue time to dry so that you're not knocking everything off. So I'm just going to kind of start with my pearls, rotate my colors through. And you can see what I mean with it's a little difficult. It's really slippery. Everything's going to start moving around, so you got to move quick to keep everything nice and uniform. All right, so I'm going to cure this under my lamp. Now I'm holding this here. If you are doing the same, I recommend using a glove to protect your hands from the UV light. In my case, it works to my advantage. I have psoriasis and vitiligo, which UV light is used to cure or treat both of those conditions. So you will see me not use a glove, and that is why I don't use a glove, because it's actually used for treatment with my condition. So I'm getting a 2-for-1 special over here. But I do 60 seconds at a clip for these as I'm curing the sides. So I won't torture you guys with watching the whole thing. I'll just show you a couple sessions and then I'll finish it up and show you guys the finished version of it. Usually when I'm waiting for this to cure, I like to multitask, but I don't really have anything else I can work on right now, so I will just kind of hang out in between. So I'm gonna do, once you get your base row going here, it makes it a little bit easier because the rest of the pearls are gonna kind of lean on it for support. Sometimes I'll hold my finger if I'm starting my base layer and everything's wanting to slide around. Sometimes in warmer temperatures, your resin gets thinner. It's more difficult to work with on the sides like this, and you may have to use a finger. Just make sure you're wearing a glove if you are touching the UV resin, just to protect yourself from any of its chemicals. Once again, I'm just holding it just to let it cures pretty quickly to begin with. Like once you hold it into the light, it will start to cure instantly, and you're able to kind of lay it down, which is what I've done now. I've laid it down in the lamp so I don't have to sit and hold it. It's just getting that base cure going without moving your pearls around too much. A couple of things people ask me where I get my charms. I get those from Etsy mostly. There's a shop on there called Resins Gallery. I have her linked in my bio too. She's one of my loyal followers. I use her for a lot of my charms, and if she doesn't have what I'm looking for, then I will shop other shops on Etsy. For my button style charms, which you guys see on some of the stuff I make, they're like these. They're actually buttons with the loops on the back I cut off. Those I get from Joann's, Walmart, Etsy. There's a couple of suppliers on Etsy that sell them. But for my resin style ones, I get those mostly from Etsy, and particularly Resins Gallery on Etsy. The flowers, I get a lot of questions about where I get my flowers from, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I used to have a really good person I purchased from on Etsy, and then she closed her shop, and it's been a struggle since then to find a good supplier for that. I do get some of them from Hobby Lobby, so make sure to check out your local Hobby Lobby. They have them in the bead section. But I don't get all of mine from Hobby Lobby. I do use Etsy. I have a lot of oversupply from my old person that I used a lot. So I haven't had to purchase too many flowers recently. But I know it's going to be a struggle when I do. And a lot of times when I'm making cups, I just search for whatever theme that person requests is typically how I start gaining all of my charms and growing my collection. I'll show you guys a quick little glimpse. These are all of my flowers that I have. These are all my button style charms that are like Disney themed. And then those two over there are all my resin, planar resins. And I also have some over here. So I have grown quite the collection of charms, and it's just come with time and different custom requests from people. Sorry guys, my video completely cut me off, but what I was saying is I've grown my charm collection just over doing several customs for people and just ordering slowly over time, along with like my pearls and my rhinestones and my flowers, just as I've grown with time. And custom orders I've done in the last year somewhere around 400 to 600 custom orders for keychains, badge reels, phone cases, pop sockets, tumblers. I would say most of my sales have been keychains and tumblers. about 50-50. Just from doing those, I've grown my vinyl collection, and I've also grown my charm collection significantly over time. So just know that it doesn't come instantly. You kind of have to start out slow and kind of get to that point unless you're willing to invest a ton of money in the beginning. And if you guys want a Q&A on how I started my business and kind of how I've run my business, how I've grown my business over the last year, I do not mind. Just drop in the comments of this video what kind of questions that you guys have, and I'll be happy to answer. People on my other platform know me as an open book. I don't gatekeep. I don't hide much. This is just a side hustle for me. It helps with my anxiety and fills my crafty needs. So I don't mind sharing. And if you guys have questions about starting up a business like this, or what it cost initially, where I find things, just drop them in the comment section. I'll start compiling a list and I'll film a Q&A for you guys exclusive to YouTube. So just let me know what questions you guys may have. But we are all finished with our lid. Came out super duper cute. I love this with this cup. It's gonna be so pretty. The next phase for this will be bling. So I will be blinging out probably some of these flowers on here next. But I'm loving how this is coming out so far. Let me know what you guys think. And like I said, this is up for grabs. So if you are interested in this cup, you can purchase it on my website, bcsparkle.com. You would do a Starbucks 24-ounce custom, and in the comments just put boho rainbow, and I will know exactly which one this is. And this is a bling lid as an option. But yeah, make sure that you guys are subscribed, that you like this video, share it out. I'll work on doing that alcohol ink tutorial here in the next day or two. But make sure you guys are following so that you get updates and notifications for when I do post new stuff. Yeah, drop in the comments some questions that you may have, or if you have tutorial suggestions, you guys want to see something that I haven't posted yet, feel free to drop that in the comments as well, and I'll work on filming some more tutorials for YouTube. But thank you guys, and I will see you all later.